what we all want to have happen, right? I'd like to begin this meeting, and as we always should and as appropriate, I would ask all of you to join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Can you hear me a little better? Anybody entertaining the idea of getting a root canal rather than talking about budgets, it's not a good thing. Let me see. Make sure I have the right. We're opening sealed bids, is that what you have?
Approval. Well, we have no minutes, but yeah. Next one was public hearing.
Okay, I was just making sure I had the right agenda in front of me. Okay. So first item of business, we'd like to open sealed bids for crack seal, seal coat, and pavement marking at the Carbon County Regional Airport. Seth Ovison.
Commissioners, the first bid is from Intermountain Slurry Seal. And the bid total is $217,777. The next is from Straight Stripe Painting and Dixie Clean and Sweep. And that bid is for $241,129. And the last is from Top Job LLC. And it is for $249,137.
Just those three then?
Correct.
Okay.
What was the name of the first one? Intermountain?
Slurry seal.
Intermountain Slurry Seal.
So I'd like to make a motion that we acknowledge those three bids, with Intermountain Slurry Seal being the least expensive of those, and refer them for final review to Mel Leesburg with Javation, and then we can award accordingly. Make sure that everything is there that we need.
I have a motion.
Second that.
I have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion passes. Thank you, Mel. We'd now like to start a public hearing. It is,
We actually need to turn some time to Christian to explain
okay.
this next one.
So Commissioners, we did schedule this for a public hearing to consider the petition of the Schofield Campsite Subdivision Corporation to vacate the roads in their subdivision. However, I was alerted this morning to the fact that our notice of this public hearing did not make it to the Utah Public Notice website. It made it to the Utah Legal Notices website, but that's not the statute specifically requires the Utah Public Notice website. So our notice essentially is defective for today's public hearing, and we cannot go forward with the public hearing because the notice did not get onto this website. So even though everybody the homeowners got a personal notice of it, and many are here today, our notice was defective, and it's my request that, and the request of the Homeowners Association's legal counsel, that you simply set a new date for that public hearing, and that you set it for February 1st, and that you cancel or postpone today's hearing on the petition, since our notice has problems and we don't want to go forward with the public hearing unless we're certain we've complied with the notice provision in every way. So I apologize to you and to the public who arrived and made plans to be here, but given the fact that the notice did not get to that website, we just can't go forward, and we need to reschedule that. So I would hope that you can make a motion to set it for February 1st, and then we'll get the notices out to who we need to.
Thank you, Christian.
I'll make a motion to postpone the public hearing until February 1st and have it re-advertised accordingly.
We have a motion.
And I'll second that.
We have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Thank you, Christian.
Thank you.
And apologies to anybody who maybe have been inconvenienced because of that. Item number 3 on the agenda, request to stay seizure or sell proceedings of personal property pending the State Tax Commission's resolution AFAB Engineering's request for reconsideration of appeal of personal property tax. Lynn Kingston.
Commissioners, can I introduce this item as well?
Thank you, Christian.
Mr. Kingston, who is the attorney for AFAB Engineering, Inc., recently sent to me, and he may have also sent to the clerk's office, 3 documents called Requests for Redetermination of the County Board of Equalization Decision. You may recall back on November 7th, we sent out a letter to Mr. Kingston informing him that the County Commission had denied his appeal for the filing of his personal property taxes. And that took place actually at a hearing on October 5th before you. He, on December 5th, filed then these requests for redetermination with the State Tax Commission, asking that they overturn your denial. So those are pending before the State Tax Commission. In the meantime, Mr. Kingston contacted me and asked if the county would be willing to stay the sale of any of the personal property that has been seized or that's the subject of these personal property tax returns. And I informed him that's something you would have to consider. I would recommend and request, Commissioners, that you deny his request for a stay, and I'll give you a couple of the reasons. Number one, 2 of those appeals, specifically for 2014 and 2015, were simply late. He made those appeals in 2016, and you have to make your appeal within the time that you're allotted to file your return, which is May 15th. And so he didn't make any appeal, such appeal in 2014 or 2015, only brought those forward to you earlier this year. So those 2 appeals before you were clearly late and you could not even consider them. With respect to the 2016 appeal, you agreed to hear some of that because of the fact that he presented some testimony that he had been told that he could have some extra time to bring that appeal forward. So you gave him the opportunity to bring forward his appeal for tax year 2016. He brought forward a tax return and a listing of a website. You asked for more documentation, which he agreed to bring. So the first hearing you granted him was in September. Asked him to come back on October 5th and provide additional information. He chose or did not or neglected to come back on that date on behalf of AFAB Engineering, and no additional information was provided to you to consider for his appeal. And because he did not appear or submit additional information after that date, you ruled that you would deny the 2016 personal property tax appeal as well. So those were all fully considered by you. As you recall, you also gave him the opportunity to bring any other information that he wanted and to basically propose terms for the payment of these late taxes. And you agreed that you would take no action against that personal property until the end of the year. So you gave him sufficient time, in my opinion, to bring forth a plan by which he could get these repaid or renegotiated or some kind of way to work it out. And so frankly, I'm doubtful that he intends to pay these taxes, that he intends to work anything out with us. I think the stay is just, he's just hoping now that his petition for redetermination, two of which I think are clearly groundless because they were late in the first place, he's just hoping to get some more time and delay. And whenever we're talking about personal property, there's a risk that that personal property is going to leave. It's going to pick up and be moved. So my request is that you not grant him a stay, that you allow the sale of that property that's been seized to go forward, and to deny his request today. I don't know if our assessor or our treasurer want to present any additional information. I don't see that Mr. Kingston's here today, but
Just in addition, Christian, I recall from the assessor's office that when they went and looked out on the property, that there was much more personal property there than was even reported and had been listed as being paid taxes on.
that's correct.
And so,
that's
with,
right.
with that in light, I'll entertain a motion.
Okay, has there been any payment at all? Have you seen anything? Please come up, and I want to remember that it's over $300,000, but I don't remember the total.
They owe back taxes to me that it was, I don't know why it was state assessed and it was locally charged, but, so as of today, he owes, $113,987, and that's back to 2012. So it would go up for tax sale in May, but I think we need to start moving their equipment and sell it as soon as we can, if we can move it out to the road shop or something, so we're guaranteed that we're gonna get some of that before they move it out.
What's the legal process of doing that?
You know, and I'm not positive, because that's actually the assessors, and I think Christian has the,
Well, basically, once you've reached the point at which you can sell it, you simply you have to give a week's notice and post notice of the sale where the equipment is, put it in the newspaper, that sort of thing.
So, Kay's recommending that we actually relocate it prior to the sale. Is that proper?
I don't know if it's possible, given some of it, but some of it might be. I mean,
they're shields, and I mean, I think they're movable, you know, but I don't know
Yeah.
the law.
Maybe the best course, and this is outside of the scope of the actual agenda item, but maybe the best course is just to list it as soon as possible. Anyway, any further discussion? I'll entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion that we deny that request for a stay, and that we move forward with the transaction to secure the property and then put it up for sale.
I'll second that motion.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. We have we're going to basically recess and review departmental reports until 5 p.m., at which time we will commence a public review and discussion concerning the 2017 county budget. And so,
Sounds good.
do we need a motion for that?
Yeah, you probably ought to make a motion.
I'll make
Okay.
a motion to recess until 5 o'clock.
I'll second that.
Motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.